what you're about to see is a condensed a session that I had with Julian. The reason I condensed it is because there's certain points in it that I think are worth bringing out, and not necessary to see the whole video. Julian's in the music business. He writes songs, sings songs, performs songs, and the issue that she has is that when she's about ready to perform, she gets this really uptight sense, and her body tenses, and there's something wrong with that, and she didn't know where to go with that. She's been using EFT before, in a kind of a surface way, apparently, because she wasn't really getting down to the roots of it. So what we're going to see here is 3 sections of it. The first one, we're going to sort of set the stage. We're going to talk about the specific events involved, where we get down, beneath the surface. Then after that, we're going to make the point that it's the response she has to things in the past that is important here, and not what actually happened. And finally, we're going to do some chasing the pain with one of the issues, and you're going to find that very instructive. So your question to me was, since you've used EFT successfully on other things, this is what you told me previously, how would we use EFT for this set of circumstances?
Yes.
And that's the essence, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, from the EFT point of view, what we look at is say, well, okay, what is this reaction we're having now? And we just described this a minute ago, okay? And from the EFT point of view, that can't happen unless you have some specific events in your past that give rise to it. That would be the cause of it. Somehow or other, somewhere back in the past, there are circumstances, events, memories, specific ones in your life where you had that feeling before. Maybe as a child, for example, or something. We don't know what that is at this moment, but we might want to, that's one of the places that we would go. But we would look at that as an underlying cause. The reaction you currently have would be what we would call a symptom. To you, it may be the problem. But to EFT practitioners, that would be the symptom, because there's something deeper involved. Okay. As we progress now, I find one of these specific events that was important in her problem was a time when she was 8 or 9 years old. She was on stage. She had a lead part in doing Macbeth. And she was very nervous because it didn't matter whether she did supremely well or did poorly. She was going to have consequences from the adults in her family. Now, it worked like this. If she did very poorly, of course, she was going to get lots of criticism. And, of course, she didn't want that. That feels really bad. On the other hand, if she did very well, what the adults in her family were going to do was then criticize her 3 brothers and say, you see what Julia did? Why don't you do that? Kind of thing. And she's going to feel bad for them. She's going to feel bad either way she goes. Now, although you won't see it here, what turns out is she ends up very creatively, I think, does the whole thing in monotone, to try to go in between them, But anyway, that's a little background for you about what this issue is. But what I want to point out next is a little discussion she and I have about what's really important here. It isn't the event itself that's important. I say it differently. It isn't what happened that's important. It's her response to it, and that's true for just about any of these emotional, traumatic type events. It isn't what happened. We can't change that. It's the response, and that we discuss next. To me, the real issue here isn't that. The real issue is your response to it. Because, that other thing, whether you do right or well, there's consequences, is just the facts of the circumstance.
Yeah.
However, what we're concerned about here is you respond to it in such a way that you still replay it when you get on stage and it affects your life.
Yeah.
And logically, it's way in the past and shouldn't. Would I be correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're dealing with your response to it. That's what's important. Not what happened, but your response to it.
Yeah.
Next, I had Julian vividly imagine this past scene when she was 8 or 9 years old on stage. And when she did, as often happens, she began to get some physical sensations, stuff in her throat, just below her heart, this kind of thing. And so I took this opportunity to approach this, to deal with this, with what we call chasing the pain. We know from long experience that when people have physical issues, it's usually linked to some emotional issue and vice versa. These things are linked. So if we use EFT on the pain, it's likely to move around the body as we take care of the details, okay? And each time it moves around, there's another detail that it's related to, and so we just chase the pain around the body. And here's a really good session that I think you will find a lot of instruction from watching.
Well, like my vocal cords are like really tight and like kind of right beneath my heart. There's like a little knot.
Okay. All right. And what numbers are those on 0 to 10? The worst.
If I'm imagining I'm on.
Yeah. The worst that you got. What number did they get to?
I'm going to say 7 for the throat and 3 for the little spot.
Okay. This is a 4. I'm glad we're doing this because it's really going to help what we're doing, for others, because we're going to do something now called chasing the pain. And thank you for staying with me, okay? Let's see, we take care of one issue and then others show up. One physical issue and then others show up. So between the two of them, the tightness in the vocal cords is a 7.
Yeah, or like right at the side of the neck.
Okay, tap with me.
Okay.
Even though I'm 8 or 9 years old.
Even though I'm 8 or 9 years old.
On stage.
On stage.
And I'm toast no matter what I do.
And I'm toast no matter what I do.
And I have this constriction in my vocal cords.
And I have this constriction. Well, can I say in my throat?
In my throat.
In my throat.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay. This constriction in my throat.
This constriction in my throat.
All right, keep going.
This constriction in my throat. 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 This constriction in my throat.
Okay.
This constriction in my throat.
That was a first-class sigh, by the way. How's your throat?
It feels different. Just a little bit of a tightness in a slightly different place.
All right, that's called chasing the pain because we take care of one part of it and it moves someplace else. Okay, so tell me where it's moved to, what the number is, describe the pain or the discomfort and so on.
I'm going to say a 4, and it's like higher, closer to my skull or whatever, like just kind of a tight feeling.
It's still a tightness though. Okay, all right. Even though I have this tightness higher up.
Even though I have this tightness higher up.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay. This tightness higher up.
This tightness higher up.
Keep going.
This tightness higher up. 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 This tightness higher up.
Okay, tell me what the faces are in the what's going on.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Just kind of like a weird sigh type thing.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm not sure. It's just like, just felt like doing that, I guess.
Okay, all right. But check out, up here, the 4.
I would say it's like a 2, and it's a little bit deeper.
Okay, so it got less, but it got deeper in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the surface part dissolved.
Okay, that's another way, really important here, and thank you for that Julian, because what happened was whatever was here has basically disappeared and been replaced by something deeper in. I mean,
Yes.
that's our experience with it.
Yeah.
So it's moved, but the other way to say it is it's actually went to zero, but reappeared another place. So we're chasing this pain, okay? Which means we are chasing the various details of this issue because they're showing up physically, okay? How's the three you had under your heart?
Actually, that seems more like a 1, actually.
Okay. Doesn't surprise me that would go as well, but it's a test to report for now. So let's go back to this 2. The 2 is deeper in, okay? Right? All right, with me. Even though I have this deeper into tightness,
I
deeply and completely accept myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Deeper into tightness.
Deeper into tightness.
Keep going.
Deeper into tightness. Deeper into tightness. Deeper into tightness. Sorry. Deeper into tightness. Deeper into tightness. Deeper into tightness. Deeper into tightness.
Okay, now the coughing that you're doing, is that unusual for you? I mean, do you cough?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't normally cough.
Okay. I don't really know what's happening, but my experience says that's part of the releasing mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know that. That's just my experience. I've seen people do coughs and various things as they're releasing. And it's unusual for you to do something like that.
Right, I don't have a cough or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have a cold or anything.
Okay. All right. Check out this deeper 2 and tell me where you are.
Now I feel like I'm being annoying, but now it feels like there's just like a slight thing higher in a different place.
Okay, no. You feel like you're being like you feel guilty for taking up my time, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're not quite home here yet, are we? We'll keep working. See, it's important to get to all the little details though, because there's more details kicking around. Okay, so be more. Give me the details again on this new thing.
It's kind of like right beneath my ears.
Okay, so it's a little tightness. Is it a 1, a 2, a 5? What?
2, I think.
A 2. Okay. Even though I have this tightness just under my ears.
Even though I have this tightness just under my ears.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
All right. Tightness just under my ears.
Tightness just under my ears.
Keep going.
Tightness just under my ears. 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 This tightness just under my ears. This tightness just under my ears.
Okay, now I'm going to do another round here, but we're not going to do any more of the ears. We'll test that maybe a little bit later, but I want to deal with the cough, okay? And I'm going to call it a releasing cough, just because I don't know any other way to describe it. So we'll just try that one, okay? So even though I have this releasing cough,
Even though I have this releasing cough,
and it's more annoying than I am,
it's more annoying than I am.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
This annoying releasing cough.
This annoying releasing cough.
Keep going.
This annoying releasing cough. I don't think it's that annoying.
Okay, this releasing cough.
This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough.
All right. Tap up here. This releasing cough.
This releasing cough.
Keep going. I'm going to do another round or two.
This releasing cough. 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 This releasing cough.
All right, one more round. This releasing cough.
This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough. This releasing cough.
Okay, in the last two rounds, I heard little or nothing in the way of a cough. I'm just pointing it out. But
yeah.
Feel free to cough if the need arises, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, what I'd like to have you do, Julian, and thank you again for hanging in here with me. Because whether you think you're annoying or not, you have no idea how many people you are now helping, okay?
Okay.
Close your eyes, go back into the age 8 or 9 year old circumstance, and tell me what number you get to.
Just like the overall.
However you want to describe it.
Well, it's like, now all I feel is like this heat in my head, which I would describe as like a 3.
You feel heat in your head. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm worried and everything. That's what I feel now.
Okay. That's a different description than you gave me earlier. The earlier you're there, you're stuck, if you will. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It doesn't matter what you do, you're in trouble. All of that. But I didn't hear heat in my head.
No.
Was there heat in your head that you can recall when we were describing it some 30 minutes ago?
No.
Okay. So it's a new thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So we dealt with this new thing, this heat in her head. We chased the pain, and it eventually shifted to something like a saucer type thing on the top of her head, in the shape of a saucer. Eventually became a little pencil line along her head, and eventually it just sort of subsided. And then I had her, try to vividly imagine the issue again, and she seemed to be pretty well over it. Now, does that mean that the next time she gets on stage, she's going to be done with this issue? She's not going to have this same kind of a replay of this 8 or 9 year old on stage event? Well, who knows? The ultimate test is when that happens. I would doubt it. She's got a lot of conditioning around that. Probably going to be some more specific events we'll have to deal with. But eventually, as we take care of the specific events, we'll take care of the underlying cause. Problem should subside. So, we're just getting a good start here. This is not a complete, well, it was a complete session or a portion of a complete session. It's not the whole thing we need to do with this particular issue. But there were a few points that are instructive, and that's what I wanted to bring to your attention.